H2KInfosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2KInfosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2KInfosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit h2kinfosys.com.
To verify that, I need to refresh here. Right click on this, refresh. So I can see that test1 database has been created. Now, if I want to create any table in test1 database, so I need to select that test1 here. I need to select that database here, and then I need to do a create table statement. So this is how you create a table. Create table employee, and then you need to give the columns for the table. So first column is employee ID integer, and I'm giving employee name varchar 20. Now when I execute this, this table will be created inside this test1 database. So let me select this and then execute this. Before executing, ensure that the correct database has been selected, otherwise it will create in some other database which is not intentional. So now let me select all this line, 4 lines, and execute this. Now the table has been created in test1. You just need to expand this. So before that, refresh it. Right click on this, refresh it. Now expand this and expand the tables, and you can see that the table has been created here. Now if you want to delete the table, if you don't want this table anymore, all you need to do is drop table. You need to do give the table name employee. Okay, so drop table followed by table name will remove the table, will remove the complete table. So if I execute this, and if I execute this, and if I refresh this test1 database, refresh this, and I'll not see the table anymore because the table has been dropped. Okay, drop table will remove the table, create table will create a table. So now which is the database which we initially thought of started working from for this course? What is the database name which we thought we'll be using for this course? Yeah, so we are going to use May 24th batch. So now what I'll do now, I don't want this test1 database. So we'll see all the commands, all the DDL commands we will see we'll see down the line. For today we'll focus on creating a table and the constraints. So I got a question saying can you show truncate table? Yes, we will see all the commands as a part of this course. This course is 50% when do we use? Okay, so we'll cover 50. I mean, this course is primarily 50% development and 50% testing. So once you're done with the course, if you think you want to move to developer, as a developer, you can even do that, or as a tester, you can even do that. So this course will give you the flexibility to be SQL Server developer or SQL Server tester. Okay, now okay, let's focus on creating table again. So which database I want to drop now? Okay, so which table I want to drop now? Which database I want to drop now? I created just for explanation again. I don't want the database. Which is the database I should drop it now? Yeah, so I created test1 database. Let me drop the database. So even for dropping the database, it is same thing. Drop database and give the database name test1. Okay, and then execute it. Okay, so why I cannot drop this? Can anyone guess why I cannot drop this database? You can see the error. You can see the error here, like cannot drop database test1 because it is currently in use. So I cannot drop it by selecting that test1. Okay, so it will not allow me to drop it because I'm already in that database and I cannot drop it. So what I need to do, I need to select some other database. Let me select master or any other database. Now let me try to drop this database. See, now the database test1 is dropped, but still I'm seeing here. So I just need to refresh it. So right click on this databases, just refresh it. So now I don't see test1 database here. Okay, now again I got a question saying what is the difference between drop and delete command. We are going to see that again in the course. So definitely by the end of 3 classes you will be very clear with all the commands, ddl commands, dml commands and dcl commands. Okay, so just to summarize till now, we saw how to create a database, create database name, and we saw how to create a table inside that database, and also we saw how to drop a table or how to drop a database. Okay, so now let's focus more on creating a table. So let's select our database, which is db2, and let's expand tables. So now how to drop this table? All of you ping me the command how to drop this table. I don't want this table now. What is the syntax? What is the command to drop it? So it's very simple. Drop table, table name. Drop table, table name. So now what I need to do now, I need to select the database first. So I need to select dbt 24th May batch, and now I need to do a drop table employee. Okay, so now execute this. Okay, dbo is optional. dbo.employee, dbo is optional. So the default schema is dbo, but if you have any other schema you might need to give that. So now I'll execute this. That's it. Now if I refresh it, let me refresh it, I don't see tables here. Okay, now let's try to understand more about creating tables and what are the constraints we have and all those things. Okay, so now let me open a PDF which I have very good material for this. I'll be sharing with all of you. So now let me open this. Okay, so now I'll be creating a table with these columns, employee table with these columns, employee ID, first name, last name, department, salary, and date of birth. Okay, so before that, let's try to explain some of the data types which we use. Okay, so now let's try to understand what is a primary key. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so let's try to understand what is the use of primary key and what is exactly a primary key. Okay, before that, employee table, the table name is employee. So can you guys tell me what could be the possible attributes for an employee? So first thing is employee ID, and an emp first name. Let me put f name. And then what else we can have? We can have L name. Sometimes we might need to have middle initial or surname as well. Okay, that is fine. Okay, I'll give middle initial. So first name, last name, or let me put this name, middle name, or okay, middle name. Okay, so whatever, and then very important thing, salary. Otherwise people don't work, right? Salary, and employee ID, first name, last name, middle name, salary, and address we will have. Other than address, we can actually think of date of birth and hiring date. Yeah, hire date, join date. Last one. Anything else which you think of for employee? Employee ID, first name, last name, middle name, salary, date of birth, manager name, department ID. Yeah, department ID. Okay, very good. Okay, so now let's assume that we have these many things. So now assume that I have some 5 employees here. Assume that I have 5 employees in this table. Can you tell me the column which differentiates? Okay, one more thing, very important thing is that every employee in a company will have how do they communicate with each other? We missed that attribute. How do they communicate with each other? All the employees will have, they communicate with email. So let's put this email ID, or let me put after this first name and last name. Okay, so let me put here email ID. Okay, now questions. So imagine I have some 5 records. So which column do you think will be different for all the rows? for sure that should be different. So how do you identify, how do you differentiate each employee? Yeah, so we differentiate employees using employee ID. So no two employees will have the same employee ID for sure. No two employees will have the same employee ID. All the employees will have different employee ID. Okay, now assume that I don't have this employee ID column. Which column do you think will play the role of employee ID? Which column do you think will be different for all the employees? No, I don't think date of birth will play the role, because two employees can have the same date of birth. Do you agree with me, all of you? Date of birth cannot play the role of primary key, because date of birth can be same for two employees. Yeah. So I see response saying email ID. Perfectly right. Email ID will be unique for all the employees. So email ID can also be a primary key. Okay, so let me drop off this column as well. Now can you tell me which is the column that can play the role of primary key, which is unique for each employee? Which can be unique for each employee? No, last name cannot be unique. Some of you saying last name cannot be unique, because some of the employees, for example, if you think department ID cannot be unique, because salary also cannot be unique, because two employees can have the same salary. Join date also cannot be unique. Join date, because join date can be same for two employees. So using join date we cannot differentiate. Yeah, I was expecting something like what Sujata has said. You can have a composite primary key. Employee ID can be there, but we don't have employee ID as of now. In these columns, I'm asking question for those who just joined. In these columns, which can play the role of unique identifier for a particular employee? First name cannot play a unique role, because two employees can have the same first name. Yeah, right. So none of these are unique by themselves, because all of them can repeat for employees. Two employees can have first name, two employees can have same last name, or two employees can have more than two employees can have same middle name. Salary obviously can be same. Date of birth very rarely, but yeah, two or more employees can have same date of birth. Join date, yeah, obviously people will have same joining date. And department ID, completely employees can belong to the same department. So in this case, if you have a scenario for sure where you have to put a join condition, you have to tell unique key, you can join more than one column. You can combine more than one column for a primary key. So do you think combination of first name, last name and middle name can form primary key? Can be unique for all the employees? How many of you agree with me that a combination of first name, last name and middle name will be unique for all the employees? Oh, nobody is agreeing, is it? Oh, there are chances like the combination also can be same. For example, Ravi Verma, and middle name, say for example Abhay Ravi Verma. Okay, so do you think that another employee can have the same first name, last name and middle name? Okay, I thought you will say we will not have the combination, I thought. Anyway, so in that case, what is the solution? So for that reason we need to have maybe we might need to date of birth, or we might need to do some magic, but still there might be I don't think these columns will be suffice for differentiating the columns. So we need to have the previous columns which we have. So what are the columns we have? Email ID and employee ID. So employee ID will be for sure which is unique for all the employees. So employee ID will play the role of primary key. So I repeat now, the purpose of primary key is to act as the differentiator between each employee. Okay, remember a primary key, no two rows of a primary key will be duplicate. For example, if you have employee ID 1, okay, yeah, I'll explain about the composite key later. So composite key is the combination of more than one column which can act like a primary key. So in some companies where for example I'll give one example where we can use composite key as So I thought you will be telling like first name, last name and middle name. I thought you all will tell no two employees will have same. I thought you will say okay for first name, last name and middle name combination. No two employees will have, but still some of you are telling like there might be chances like we can have the same first name, last name and middle name combination for multiple employees. Okay, at least I guess okay, it can be there. Yeah, I'm not denying the fact. Okay, these three combination also can vary. Okay, so I'll tell about composite key later. So for now primary key is something like which is used for differentiating that particular employee price, and a primary key should be different for all the rows. I mean, duplicate values are not allowed for a primary key, and the third point is a primary key cannot be null value. A primary key cannot be null value. It should have some value. Okay, and it should be unique. I mean, it will not allow duplicate values. It should be unique for each row. So that is called a primary key. Okay, and remember, a table can have only one primary key. Okay, I repeat the points about primary key, and one of you should explain this. Okay, a primary key is used to differentiate the records, differentiate a record from other records, and a primary key cannot have duplicate values. Second point is a primary key cannot have duplicate values. Third point, a primary key cannot be null. A primary key cannot have null values. It should have value. Null is something like no values is called null. Okay, and the last point, a table can have only one primary key. Okay, so okay, a table must have only one primary key. It cannot have more than one primary keys. Okay, now let's try to understand. Some of you are asking cluster index. Okay, I'll tell what is cluster index later. Yeah, okay, so now who wants to explain the 4 points which I have discussed? I'll make you as I'll unmute you. So who wants to take this up? You can ping me. I just need the 4 points. Who wants to explain? Okay, so Kavita wants to try. I'll unmute Kavita. So yeah, you can explain the 4 points for all of us. We are not able to hear you. Others, are you able to hear? Where is the problem with my microphone, with my speakers? Yeah, I think now we are able to hear. Yeah, go ahead please. Okay. Okay. Okay.
It could be 0, but it could not be 4.
Okay.
It should be you cannot be repeated.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, very good. So thank you, Kavita. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's clear now for me. The 4 points have been clarified, and one more question which I got now is is it possible that the table does not have a primary key? Yes, primary key is mandatory. So sometime back I created a table. So sometime back here I created a table employee which is not having primary key. So it is not necessary for a table to have a primary key. Okay, but still if you have it, that's well and good. That's how we can differentiate from other records. Okay, so yeah, any other questions?